Survivor 48 is premiering tonight! And since the season trailer gave us nothing except a glimpse at a potential medevac and some workout advice.
You wanna know why I have muscles? I drink so much chocolate milk that has the perfect protein to carb ratio.
The pregame player interviews conducted by outlets like Entertainment Weekly during the final days before filming began have never been more important in learning about the cast. How else will we know which contestants are giving the others bad vibes, which contestants the others most want to work with, and who's brave enough to call Boston Rob overrated on CBS's own turf? Spoiler alert, Mitch and Camilla are. When I look at the 18 new competitors, I can't help but wonder how much input Jeff had in picking this season's players, because he's got a well-documented history of fangirling over jockey-cocky alpha bro-y types. And based on pregame press, there are a few guys in 48's cast that could fit the bill, like Mitch, whose catchphrase is, "It's not peer pressure, it's just your turn," and David, obviously. Another well-represented group is Marianne fans. In their interviews, almost a quarter of the contestants, 4 of 18, named her as someone they relate to or hope to play like. So if you're not a Marianne fan, you may want to sit this season out and rewatch Survivor 42, because Marianne is great.
This is the best day of my life!
Even more surprising than all the Marianne fans are all the contestants that are seemingly ambivalent about potentially winning $1 million. When asked in the pregame interviews if they'd rather become the sole survivor but get no money, or win the million but be voted out first, only 3 people picked the money: Charity, Chrissy, and Justin. So I guess that's who I'll be rooting for, since everyone else is either too prideful to willingly be eliminated first, is so focused on the experience of Survivor they forgot the prize money was even a thing, is already successful enough to not need $1 million and eager to tell people that, or is just giving the answers they think Jeff would want to hear. But what's even more notable about Season 48's cast is that not everyone is a longtime Survivor superfan. David just got around to watching Heroes vs. Villains. Obviously, nearly 50 seasons deep, it makes sense that the majority of people applying to be on the show want to do it because they're already a fan. But hearing about how important Survivor is to the new contestants every season is starting to get boring. The only casting archetype worse than smarmy Ivy League guy is person who likes Survivor too much, and I am one of those people. I've been watching since the first season aired when I was 7. I've shown it to just about anyone I've ever cared about in my life, and I talk and think about it way too often. That's how I know that I like the series more when there's less meta-sentimentality. Superfans or not, and there are still plenty in the cast, one thing the whole group agrees on is that playing a social game is the best way to win in the new era. In pre-game interviews, several contestants bragged about their people skills, and even more revealed that one of their strategies is to find a ride or die to play the game with in tandem. When asked to make bold predictions about the season, some castaways even thought that there'd be another tie vote at Final Tribal Council as a result of a powerhouse pair like Wendell and Dom. Other contestants, Chrissy, gave such different answers, it's hard to believe they were responding to the same question. Her bold prediction was that after checking out her castmates for a few days, she didn't think any of them were going to hook up. And that's nothing compared to Joe, who boldly predicted that the cast would be bigger this season. Had he been right, for some reason, then that just means people would have had even more people to choose from when picking their ideal reality competition allies. According to a pregame interview with Jeff, partnerships will be one of the season's central themes. There are already a lot of iconic twosomes in Survivor's long history, but we could always use more, especially in the new era, since players have generally been betraying their allies before they've been allied long enough to become iconic. Based on the Season 48 cast's first impressions of each other, formed in the days before filming begins when the group is around one another at Ponderosa but not allowed to talk, a third of the contestants, 6 of 18, hoped to align with Chrissy. She's the oldest contestant and a woman, so she was instantly pigeonholed as the group mom, whether she wanted to be or not. And she didn't want to be. She wanted to be pigeonholed as the group aunt. Charity, David, and Stephanie also each stuck out to about a third of the cast, though none of their reviews were as overwhelmingly positive as Chrissy's. But no one left a bigger first impression than Shaheen. Half his castmates bring him up when asked about the other contestants. Some like his energy, others don't trust him, and Camilla identifies him as the infamous bearded alternate from season 46, who captivated almost half of that cast during their pregame interviews. But he didn't make it onto the show, so we never learned who he was. If the contestants stick to their initial plans, which they probably won't, then season 46 will also loom over how hidden immunity idols and advantages are used. This newest cast will be the first group to play after seeing all of Survivor 46, after seeing 4 people in a row, and also Jem, get voted out with idols in their pockets. To avoid the embarrassment of doing that, some players plan to use advantages as soon as they find them. The only things I expect to be used more often are overwrought turns of phrase contestants hope will become episode titles, and lies. Because this season, almost 2/3 of the cast, 11 of 18, are going to lie about their job. Shaheen's even going to lie about the job he had before his current one, which he'll also be lying about. Software engineers, engineering PhD candidates, speech and debate professors, PR execs, music execs, social workers, flight attendants, finance managers, tech product leads, and marketing professionals will all be attempting to hide their careers from their fellow castaways. Kyle, the attorney, won't be honest about his job either, but at least he acknowledged what an insurmountable trope lawyers lying about being lawyers has become. One person I was surprised doesn't plan to lie about their job is a surgeon named Cedric. Every season, more and more players find reasons why their chosen career paths make them huge threats to win the show. I can never tell if those contestants are right or just self-important, but Cedric's decision to buck the rules of Survivor Society is as exciting as some of his castmates actually winning $1 million and not just the adventure of a lifetime. Unfortunately, I don't think Cedric, Charity, Chrissy, or Justin are going to become the next sole survivor, and the reason why is because none of them are featured in the last 15 seconds of the season 48 trailer. So far, there have been 8 New Era seasons, and in 7 of those seasons' trailers, the eventual winner is featured in the final seconds. The one exception is Survivor 41's winner, Erica, whose entire edit is so botched it only makes sense for her to be the outlier. Now, the show's tight schedule forces some trailers to be finished before their seasons are done filming, like Survivors 43 and 47. So this all might be more of a coincidence than a real observable pattern. But either way, the people featured in the last 15 seconds of this season's trailer are Eva, Joe, Shaheen, and Stephanie. If one of them wins, the person who edits the trailers has got to switch it up next time. With the Survivor 48 premiere just hours away and my winner picks made, there's nothing for me to do now except stare at the wall and wait. But I'll be back soon with the first video in a weekly series I want to make about each episode's editing. Whose backstory is presented heroically? Whose master plan is explained while circus music plays? Who's being taken seriously by their castmates? On Survivor, the puzzles aren't the only puzzles, and you can make a lot of educated guesses about what's going to happen by looking for clues left behind by the editors. No better way to kill time in between rounds of Season 50 fan voting. Thanks for watching. See you soon.